Barnard Castle in Teesdale, County Durham, is a historic market town which takes its name from the castle it was built around.
And that castle was constructed in a period of approximately 30 years. Building activities started around 1095 and were completed around 1125. This makes it a high medieval castle. The owner was the French Baron Guy de Balliol. His nephew Barnard de Balliol later extended the castle, and this is why, by the end of the 12th century, it became known as Castrum Bernardi.
The family's ownership of the castle would come to be disputed by the bishops of Durham. Various parties started fighting over the building, both on paper and in the flesh. The situation got so politically heated that the King of Scotland, Alexander II, even laid siege to the castle in 1216. Yet the family persevered. In 1292, John de Balliol even got chosen as the King of Scots himself. A group of noblemen, headed by King Edward I of England, put him on the Scottish throne.
But it wasn't long before Edward undermined the Scottish interests and started treating Scotland as a vassal of England. The Scottish nobility did not like that at all and decided to dispose of Edward. Supported by the French nobility, the Scots appointed a new council to rule the Northern Territories instead of Edward. Edward's reaction was to invade Scotland, and this is what caused the Wars of the Scottish Independence. You know, where Braveheart comes in. In 1296, King John de Balliol was imprisoned in the Tower of London. He was eventually sent back to France, and Barnard Castle was passed to the Bishop of Durham.
In the centuries that followed, the castle was granted to several English noblemen, with intermediate periods of being crown property. During the English Civil War, Barnard Castle was besieged by Oliver Cromwell himself. Cromwell got here in 1648, and it is believed that he had his supper at Blaygrave's house, which is the oldest house in town. As the years went by, the castle turned into a ruin, but you can still see and climb the 12th century cylindrical tower, and you can explore the Great Hall and Great Chamber, both dating back to the 14th century. Outside the walls, the remains of a medieval chapel to St. Margaret can be found, and today the castle is in the custody of English Heritage. The castle occupies a site that has been strategically important for millennia.
And the plateau on which the castle stands commands the crossing point over the River Tees of a major Roman road.
That's right. We know that the significant Roman road connecting Bowes and Binchester crossed the River Tees at Barnard Castle. Its route curves along the old castle wall into Horsemarket Street. That road is called Gallgate and it runs right through. Although no evidence has been found, it's very likely that there was a small Roman settlement here as well. The town has an impressive market cross, which was built in 1747 by Thomas Breeks. A market cross is a large statue or even a complete structure meant to indicate where the market square was located in official market towns. That might sound super logical, but the right to organize a regular market or a weekly fair was actually of great significance in the Middle Ages, because it meant that craftsmen and merchants were allowed to sell their goods here.
In market towns, customers could count on fair prices and products of a certain quality. But this commercial privilege could only be granted to a village or a town by a monarch, a bishop or a baron. In addition to being a symbol for the right to trade, these structures were also the spot where royal or religious ceremonies were held and where public proclamations were issued to announce important new events or regulations.
Over time, the market cross in Barnard Castle had many more functions. For example, it served as a jail, a courtroom, a dairy market, a fire station, a toll booth, and even as a town hall.
The bridge over the River Tees sits on a former boundary between the counties of Durham and Yorkshire, and is probably 14th century in date. But we do know through the discovery of a recent inscription that it was repaired in 1596. The picturesque sight of the river also inspired the famous romantic painter William Turner, who filled at least 4 pages of his sketchbook with sketches of Barnard Castle, and eventually inspiring him to paint this lovely watercolour during his visit in the 1820s.
Though we know much about the castle, the bridge and the town, something else is shrouded in mystery.
And that structure lies submerged, literally 150 metres upstream from this bridge.
There are signs underwater that suggest a ford or a shallow crossing over the river, but nobody really knows exactly from what period that might date to, though it is likely to be Roman in origin as it crosses the river at the same position of a known Roman road. Hopefully we can return here one day to investigate underwater and provide some definitive answers.
Until then, there's more to enjoy in the vicinity. The Bowes Museum has many paintings and unique artifacts on display, dating between the medieval period and today, and also including many pieces from the Renaissance era. The museum was founded by the local nobleman John Bowes, who was seeking an appropriate home for his extensive art collection. And an appropriate home it is, because the building is designed as an imperial French chateau. The museum was opened in 1892, but sadly John Bowes himself and his wife had already passed away by then. Luckily for us, it has been a public gallery ever since, and hence a place where people have enjoyed works by painters such as Goya, Raphael, Monet, Van Dyck and the aforementioned Turner. And because it is only a 10-minute walk from the historical centre, one could easily combine a visit to the museum with a stroll around town.
So today, the town's many antiques shops, independent retailers and specialist shops supplying locally produced food make for a really charming visitor experience.
Whether you are fond of history, architecture, art, shopping or even locally sourced food, there is something for everyone in Barnard Castle. All in all, the place is absolutely worth a visit.